Okay, boys and girls, so now that we have watched the video about writing our draft, we're going to go ahead and continue on with our stories. And before I talk about my story, one other thing I wanted to tell you that is if it is easier for you to write this on actual paper, you can go ahead and do it on paper and then take a picture of it for me. Or if you'd rather just do it on here, you're welcome to do that too. So whichever way is easiest for you. Now, before I actually start my draft, there's a couple things I want to do. One is I want to go back and look at my plan, so you're going to want to make sure to do that too. Whoops. So you can see my plan here. I talked about being excited. The order is what I'm really going to look at. So, we boarded the catamaran to go to the island. We put our gear on. We snorkeled in caves, saw strange things, and went to a private island to relax, and went back to our cruise ship. So those are some of the details I might want to add. Now, before you start writing, you always want to go back and reread what you've already done. So we've already done our introduction. So here is my introduction. I am so excited, I said to my friend Becky. We were just about to begin our very first snorkeling adventure. So I am ready to go on with the writing. So I'm going to real quick change and get rid of that border on there. So now I think I'm ready for type. And in the video she talked about using those, we call them transition words. Those are words like first, then, next, after that, just to help the reader know that you're going from one thing to the next. So the first thing I'm going to say here is, oops, I have to start my sentence with a capital letter. First, we got on a catamaran. I don't know if that's how I'm spelling it. I'm just going to stretch it out as best I can to bring us to the snorkeling spot. We put on our gear and jumped in. Okay. Now I need to change the size a little bit so this fits onto my lines as best I can. It's not going to be perfect, and that is okay. And one other thing I'm going to do for style is I'm going to stretch this little one over here and put it all over to the side. So that might be my first page. Okay, first we got on a catamaran to bring us to the snorkeling spot. We put on our gear and jumped in. Now you'll see here there's a page 2, and you know what? I might want to duplicate this page because I'm probably going to need a page 3 too. Alright, so I stopped with us putting on our gear and jumping in. So the first thing I did, so I'm going to use the word next. We swam towards the deeper waters because we were told we might be able to see turtles. Now, before I can go on, I need to make this smaller. Get a little bit wider so I can fit more on there. We did not see any turtles. However, we did spy something unusual. We came to the surface and said to each other, "What is that?" and swam away. Doesn't quite fit perfectly on there, and again, that's okay. You're just going to do your best on it. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this page again. And I'm going to write just a little bit more. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we saw. It was silver in color and had large, sharp teeth. We were scared. Turns out it was a barracuda. If you haven't seen a barracuda, maybe later on I can maybe find a picture to show you, but all we saw, boys and girls, was these teeth, and we were scared because it was a big fish longer than us. We swam towards the caves and found out that as long as we were not wearing anything shiny and left it alone, it would leave us alone too. So you can bet that we left it alone. I'm going to do another duplicate page here. We spent the rest of our time snorkeling in caves and saw lots of fish, coral, and even a stingray. Now, sometimes, boys and girls, when you're writing your story, you might have to go back and look at your plan from time to time. So I'm going to go back and look at my plan. I talked about gear, I talked about snorkeling in caves, saw strange things. I can talk about the private island and going back to our ship. So I'm just about done with my story. I think I skipped a page. Here's the cool thing. If you didn't know this, boys and girls, you can move your pages to make sure they're in order. Now, after this, I'm going to use a transition word. After we were finished snorkeling, we went to a private island to relax for a little while. It was awesome. Now I can't see that, so I need to move that up a little bit. So we're just gonna move them around as best I can. There we go. And now I'm almost finished. So I'm still going to duplicate this page just in case, because I can always go take it off. Now I'm going to use that word. Whenever you get to the last thing, we want to use that word finally. It was time to head back to our cruise ship. The catamaran brought us back, and we headed to our room on the ship. So that was kind of the end of the story. Now, there will be one more part of this story next time. We'll be writing what we call our conclusion, which we'll talk more about next time. But this is the main parts of my story. If I go back to my plan, I have my beginning, I have my middle, and I have my end. Now what I have to do is I need to go back and I will draw pictures on all of these pages so that they match what I already have. So they match these words. Okay? I don't expect you to get this done in one day. In fact, I'm going to say you probably will have Monday, Tuesday, and probably even Wednesday to work on these. And then Thursday, we're going to come through and do our conclusion. and that way we'll have a finished story. So don't, try to get at least your beginning, but don't feel you need to have your whole story and your illustrations done in one day. If you do them on Seesaw, great. Just click check mark when you are finished. If you decide to do it on paper, then make sure you take a picture of each page. So you'll just like on here, you'll add a picture. So if I was on this page, let's say you had an empty page, all you would do is you would go to your camera and you would just take a photo, and then it'll pop up in here. You'll make it big so I can see it. So you can still have your page numbers, but you'll just have the picture of your writing instead of it on here. So whichever way you would like to do that, it is fine with me. I can't wait to hear your stories. I will say your introductions are sounding awesome. And so I can't wait to hear them. So happy writing, and we'll see you next time.